Hey everybody, happy Sunday. We back again. Myself, Coach Willie, we back to come, share some golden nuggets to the legacy builders. Because I know that you're here or you're watching this recording because you really truly want to make this happen. So, hey, we got an amazing topic. When I text Coach and asked him what was on his mind, and he said this, I said, man, that might be the best topic that we could have. I believe it's the best topic that we can actually share with everybody today and at this point in time. But before we do get started there, Coach, I know you mentioned, and we just want to talk about some of these things that they talked about at corporate yesterday on yesterday's call.
Yeah,
So
on Saturday. Yeah,
let
it was
me
a long one. It was a great one. I was at work, but I was only able to get on an hour. But it was a great one. If you guys that were able to attend the Saturday call, and it was amazing. And it was long, but man, we probably had over 500 people on there to the end, huh?
600. It stayed over
600.
600 people the whole time. Now that's how you know something is good when over 600 people stay plugged into something. And so what I can tell you is it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. I'm gonna tell you that it's been a while since I seen that much growth happening. But I wanted to pull up. I took some screenshots of some things they talked about yesterday. And so the first thing I want to mention to everybody on this call, everybody on the team, everybody watching it live, everybody watching the recording, the company does 2 annual trips a year. And the thing is, all of us have the potential of earning it. It's not something that goes just to the people who making the big money. This ain't that type of company. Anybody, whether it be your day one or you in a little bit, can make this trip happen. This is a very, very easy trip. To be honest, I would say this trip is probably you make just in the comp plan, you probably make about average, probably about $4,000, around $4,000 for one person. And that, that's very, very doable here. That's, to be honest, that's very, very doable. If you can make about 4,000 in the comp plan, maybe a little bit more. I'm gonna have to break it down. I'm probably gonna sit down and break it down how much I think you would have to make to do this. But the Bahamas, who wouldn't want a free trip to the Bahamas? A 4-day. When I say free, I mean free flight, free food, free all the amenities, everything that you could think of to the Bahamas for free. And partner code is you can do that with partner code. You could do it for one person or two people. So pretty much if it's two of y'all, you just have to double the, as you see what's on the screen there. It'll be 360,000 lifestyle points. We're actually gonna I'll probably see if I can get Ty rolling on to come share with everybody a little bit more in detail how the lifestyle ports work one of these Sundays. But then also the second thing I want to talk about is where our company is and how we are going, like what's going on. Do y'all know last year, Skinny Drops, percentage-wise from a business standpoint, anybody who understands business did over 300% increase from 2022. That means that the system of growth is working. It's working. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So for anybody who's saying, well, I don't know if it's going to work for me. Hey, it's working for people who have no experience in everything. So I encourage you to jump on board, get the boards downloaded and everything of that nature. Coach, you got anything you want to add on to about this growth?
Well, guys, think about 300% growth in 1 year. That means that on average, let's say 1 out of 10, that means that 60% of the people that use these drops they having some level of success. They get that type of growth in a year over 2022, 300%. That is
300%.
just amazing. And you look at the Circle of Health. I remember when the Circle of Health was first created, it wasn't but a handful of people in there. And there's 10,000 droppers in the Circle of Health now. 10,000 people.
Since August.
That is
since August. Since August.
10,000
people. It was less than 300 people in August. That means from August to now, we had we had over 10,000 new people get on a box of skinny drops, because that's how you get in. You get on a box of skinny drops.
You get a skinny
So
drop.
that means people are trying this product out, and you don't keep 10,000 people unless the product is what? Working. That means they stick around and stay on it and keep coming back. It's growing. So we encourage everybody to plug in.
And the great thing about the Circle of Health is, for you guys and for new people that's coming on board and people that's on the team, they're doing all the coaching. They're doing all the sharing. And there's so much great information in there. We got doctors in there. I'm talking about real doctors. I'm talking about doctors with MDs, doctors with practices that's selling. The real people in that group that are using their expertise and telling people how to have success with the drops. So you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have any knowledge of what's in the drops. Well, when somebody texts you and say, what's in the drops? Well, you just take them straight to Circle of Health, or just tag them in Circle of Health. I printed the other day. I had one of mine that wanted, he said, Coach, everybody called me Coach. He said, Coach, I want to start the drops, but I would like to just have a meal plan. I know y'all got the recommended food list, but I like to have, on Monday, what do I want to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What do I want to eat for this? Well, instead of saying, in my mind, I was thinking, man, you could do that yourself. But we want to be able to serve, right? And one of the things I want to be is a better servant, And so all I did was went to Circle of Health. I posted, and some of you may have saw my post. I asked, who has a daily food chart? And out of that, voila, boom, it's 10,000 people in there. Yes. And then a lady tagged me, put a whole food chart on what she was eating for breakfast, what she was eating for lunch, what she was eating for dinner for a whole month. That's the kind of information you get.
I just don't see a place, a community that I really don't. I've been in this industry over 12 years. I haven't seen a company with so many teams that are working together so everybody can have success that I've ever seen here. Point blank period. So this opportunity is absolutely amazing if you actually take advantage of it. See, we're going to talk about something here in just a second, but you got to learn to take advantage of time. A lot of people look at me, for example, I've been in this 12 years. I started with Limu. A lot of my friends all say, man, I wish I had took it serious, or I wish I had got started when you got started. And I said, no. You didn't want to get started when I got started, because then you would have went through everything I had to go through these past 12 years. The best time is right now. See, in Limu, we wasn't global. We didn't have access and be able to build business all over the world. Now I'm able to build all over the world. You are able to build all over the world. Now shipping is way faster. Now we have all these other products that you can do. Now we have this compensation plan that has matching bonus. We have all these things that make it better. See, and there's no better time than right now. And I'm just telling you, this ship is rising. It was literally 600 people from just the US and Canada on a call for over 3 hours yesterday. 600 people don't sit on a Zoom for over 3 hours unless it's good. And it is something worth doing. And it's things like this, skinny drop users, but also Noni. Anybody who's been on our Noni sales went up over 266% from 2022 globally. Then we also had the Renew. For all the ones who do love Renew, I love my Renew. Over 190% increase from over 2022 on those products. And then, guess what? You want to talk about something that's intriguing? Is the USA being ranked #1 in momentum over Europe and China.
Whoa.
Europe and China are our two biggest markets in our company, by far, like hands down. Like America and Canada, we fight to try to get $1 million in sales a week. Europe and China do 3-4 million a week in sales. As you can see on the screen, China did in 1 week, in 6 hours, $1.2 million in sales when they did the skinny drop sale. So it don't matter. Like, if you want to be a part of something when it's like at the right time, this is the right time, because the US is untapped. Nobody knows our name, Partner Co. Nobody even knows what the skinny drops are. I mean, I was on the Zoom yesterday for Miss Rosalind. Last night, Melissa jumped on with me with 5 or 6 ladies that had never heard about skinny drops. How many more people out there in this world don't know about the skinny drops? What does that mean for you and your family? That means there's a big piece of the pie that you and your family can go grab. We are untapped in so many parts of the world, in the US for sure alone, that you can look up, you can go to work and you can look up and be 2 years from now, and you'll look up like I did and be like, wow, all because I took action, I am where I am today. See, because I was telling Coach Willie and Andrew before a lot of y'all got on, that I remember when I was that 21-year-old kid, I didn't go to any parties when I was in college in this little time frame when I got started, because I just never forget. You know, you a lot of times I always say, I always say that sometimes it's 2 things that draw people to us. 2 things, either inspiration or desperation. Either you're inspired by something you seen, a picture or something, or you desperate because a doctor told you you had this, and this was going to happen if you didn't change, or your finances wasn't where they were supposed to be and you about to get kicked out or something because your finances wasn't there, or it could be anything. So it's either inspired or you just desperate. And see, for me, I was desperate because I just never forget my mom's house burned down on December 19th, the day after my 22nd birthday. And I remember looking in my wallet and I had $10 to my name. And my mama just lost everything. And I couldn't do anything for her. I couldn't replace anything she lost. Nothing. And so for me, I just never wanted to be in that position again. So I went to work. 8 months later, I am where I am today because of that situation. Because I sacrificed. I did what I had to do to make it happen. I was like, you know what? I don't care how late, how early I got to do a sit down with somebody or anything of that nature. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure I'm not in that position again. So my question for you is, are you going to wait to something to become, because life just comes at you and then you on your hands and knees? See, a lot of us get on our hands and knees and pray, but none of us take the action behind it to go make it happen. I know I'm probably stepping on some toes, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Faith without works is dead. You got to do the work too. You can't just ask God to come and change. He's not just going to come change it. You got to do some work. Now, the thing is, when you start doing work, he is a blessing. So he might 10 times or 100 times it, whatever you do. But Coach, I know we got an amazing topic. I know I almost got going, Coach. So let's get into this topic that we have. Coach, I'm going to let you pop it off. So it kind of go into what we have, but you know, we're gonna talk about the be, the do, and the have. The be, do, have. The being, the doing, and the have.
Amen.
And the thing about this be, do, have is a lot of us, to be honest, we like to start from the bottom, which is the have, and then end up saying this is who we'll be if we have that. See, and the thing is, you got to flip that. See, because a lot of us will say, when I have, I'll do, and then I'll be. No, that's the wrong way. That equation don't go like that. It's what it goes like this. Who must I be? So what must I do so that I can have? So the question is, are you studying successful people? So are you learning to be that person? Y'all always hear me talk about personal growth because it is something that transformed my life when I started learning to read the Bible, implement what I was seeing, when I started reading these little $5, $10, $15 books and all these different little personal development groups, when I start listening to people like Jim Rohn, Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, all these amazing people that I listen to on a daily basis, where I don't care if it's 30 minutes or an hour a day, I'm feeding my brain. But I had to learn I had to realize I had to become somebody different. Trust me, if you are where you want to be at in your life, great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you want something different in your life, that means you have to become somebody different. What got you to where you are in your life right now is who you were yesterday. Well, really all day today and all day yesterday. Unless you changed and did something different today than you was yesterday. If you want better health, you got to start today. Take the products, work out, walk, exercise, drink more water is something, but also it's the same thing in business. If you want more income, what am I going to do starting today, starting tomorrow? Like, I know it's kind of late, but what am I going to do starting tomorrow? What am I going to do? What's my plan? What actions am I going to take? Because that is how you're going to get to what you want. I would love to see every single one of y'all on the trip to the Bahamas. I would love it. It's free. And I heard James Zane say one time, James, how you get so many people on your team to the trips? He said, well, I just asked people how many of y'all would love a free trip. You could earn a free trip, like literally anybody can. You can literally go on this free trip. He's like, whoa. And everybody's like, well, how do I get there? And so they just collaborate together, see who all want to go, and then they work towards it, and they just make it happen. And that's the same thing that we can all do because these trips are there. But, I'm going to come back after I'm going to pass it to Coach Willie, let Coach Willie do his part. And then I got a couple of other things I'm going to add to it. But, Coach, what do you have to say about the Be Do Have?
Awesome. Thank you. And speaking of James, I like something that he always does. Let me tell you, if you're taking action in 2024, put a 1 in the box. Put a 1 in the box if you're taking action in 2024 and you're understanding that action is where I'm going to grow at. Put a 1 in the box below. Hey, I see the ones coming in. That's what I'm talking about. And the excitement starts with you. When you put a 1 in the box, you're taking action. You're taking action on the fact that I believe mentally that I can be something bigger than I am today. And let's not even think bigger. Let's even think about just on the aspect of who do I want to become? Who do I want to become? Now, let's get to be, do, have. Just like Anthony said, the being, the doing, and the have. And so many want to skip levels. They think, well, I read a book on Dr. Jim Rohn. I read his book. Now I'm being, now I should have. But you skip the doing. And all of these steps are a process of growth. And even when you look at the Bible, in the book of Genesis, man wasn't created on the first day, was it? The conditions probably wasn't great for man to be able to be born on the first day. The conditions he put him in the right place to be able to put him in the garden. But what if he would have put man on when he said, let there be light, and then he said, man, and you looked around, he created man and woman, and you looked around, well, where are we at? So the conditions had to be right for them to receive and be able to grow in the direction that he wanted them to grow. Imagine if if a tree could grow without a seed. That can't happen, right? That's back. The being is the seed. The being, who am I willing to become to have what I really want? What are the work that I'm willing to put in to become that being, B-E-I-N-G, a new being? Even the Bible says when you come to God, you become a new creature, a new mindset, a new person. What does that mean? I become a new being mentally. I think different. I talk different. I walk different. I stand different. My aura's different. I'm on a different mission. I'm on a different, a whole different mindset than what everybody else seemed to want to put me, the box they put me in from the person they thought I was previously. And then the doing. Because once I get in that right mindset, and this is a proper, they call me coaching because I've been coaching for almost 2 decades. One of the things you understand when you come out and you start a new team and you're trying to rebuild the team is this. If you don't change their mindset, it don't matter. It don't matter what you do. If you don't start to address the mindset, you're coming into a team that's probably never won anything. You're coming into a team that's probably had all their struggles, and all they want to think about and all they want to tell you about is all the failures they've already experienced. See, that's the problem with the human brain. But I don't believe God gave us the human brain to every time I get ready for an opportunity, I remind myself of all my failures. Because that's not what the failures are for. That's not what God gave you a memory for. It's not to remind you of the failures. It's to remind you of put you in a place where you understand the obstacles that it takes to be who you are today, that you have a level of gratefulness for where I'm at today, because that was how I saw the growth, how I saw the growth. And so when I become the being, then I start to do. Oh man, that's a whole nother thing. Now, when the seed is planted in the soil, the doing starts. Because now it starts to spread out. Now it starts to grab a hold of the minerals it needs to become the tree that it's got to be able to stand at 60 feet or 60 feet tall, be able to stand stern in wind, be able to stand stern in the snow. It's got to be able to stand stern when the storm comes. It's got to be able to stand still when all the obstacle comes its way. Because if you're not strong in the doing, when the wind blows, you're going to lose it all. You're going to lose it all. And you got to be willing to do as long as it takes for you to hold on to what you're going to have. How long are you willing to do? And see, some people, they'll do for 2 weeks. And then I had a friend that called me today. She said she started the drops 24 hours ago. And she said a text message, she said, I ain't seen no results and it's been 24 hours. Now I'm going to tell you what, I ain't going to tell you what I really wanted to say. I ain't going to tell you what I really wanted to say. But see, this is how some of our mindsets are. We do a little and expect a lot. But the doing has no time frame. The doing has the doing comes when you're ready to have a harvest, the have. So that when that harvest comes, the have come, you're able to not only try to keep all of it for yourself, you're able to have something to share. Because if you're really thinking about it, you ought to be saying to yourself, Lord, I want to have enough, not just to take care of me, but Lord, I want to have enough to take care of everybody around me. I want to be able to take care. But the Bible says a good man takes care of his children's children. The man that doesn't take care of his family is worse than an infidel. You think all you're thinking about is what you want to have, instead of what can I have to take care of everything around me and everyone around me. Because you want them in the right mindset. Now, how willing am I to do this? How long am I willing to do this? How long am I willing to go? Anthony says he's been doing this 12 years. Are you willing to put in 12 years? So were you willing to put, some are saying willing to put in 12 months? Because it gets hard. It gets hard. This is not fortunately, this is not fortunately, unfortunately, this is not my first company. So I've been doing this for a while. And so I understand the ups and downs. I understand that sometimes it's going to be dead. What am I doing in the dead season? What am I doing when it slows down? What am I doing when it speeds up? Am I ready for success? Am I ready for what it takes to build a team? Because some of us, if you got that person that could go to CEO tomorrow, do you have the tools to be able to help that person? If you got the person tomorrow that can come in and sell 500 boxes of drops, do you have a plan that you can set up? Okay, this is how we start to assess this, put a plan in place that this person be successful and they're not overwhelmed, that you're able to come and clean up behind them and create a team behind them, even in their chaos. Where they're seeing chaos, you're calm behind the storm because you already know what's going on. You've been doing it long enough that you understand how to operate. But if you're not that person yet, all you're gonna do is run off that person. You're probably gonna run them off in the stage because you're gonna talk too much. So that's the problem where you're gonna lose them anyway. So are we willing to become the person through doing to have the kind of success we have in our brains. Be, do, have. Being, doing, and I call it harvest. I call it harvest because that's what it is. That's what it is. And that all process takes time. And I put my prayer for everybody is to be able to stand still through the process that we have to go through wherever we're at in our journey to reach the goals of or reach the harvest that we're looking for. Because I do know this, in Proverbs it says, all hard work brings a profit. All hard work brings a profit. The profit may not come when you think it is. It may not come like you wanted to come, but all hard work brings a profit. And I said this a long time ago too, and I say this when I first came in. Whether it works for me or on me, it's working. Whether it works for me or on me, it's working. It's working. And I pray the patience that each and every one of you have to be able to, see the success, because I don't want you to stop right before your harvest. I don't want to see you turn around and you have to plant your seeds all over again to start back over again. You know the feeling when you stop and then all of a sudden you start. Jim Rohn talks all the time. He say, I've quit 100 times and I've started back at 200 times. Because we all go through those trials where we wake up some days and like, God, I feel like I'm not moving. I feel like I ain't doing nothing. That's when you just get on and do something, make a phone call, write down a list, do something. That's still doing. Stay on track, stay on the process, stay willing to keep your feet grounded in the soul. So that's what I be, do, have.
Be, do, have. Who must I be? What must I do so I can have that harvest that Coach Willie talked about?
Put a 5 in the box if you're willing to become the person that's going to be doing and to harvest. Put a 5 in the box. I just love that part.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, one thing I want to, emphasize on what Coach talked about, that tree, where there be that seed and you're putting that seed off into the ground in that environment. And see, your environment is not going to dictate your outcome. See, because you can change your environment. And people say, well, how can you change your environment? You change your environment by doing things like what's your skills that you're developing? What's your belief? See, a lot of, one of the things I love about sports is majority of the people that make it in sports came from nothing. And they all came with like some real bad experience. Coach, you made it to the CFL. You came from a very humbling beginning, like where you didn't have anything. And see, most athletes are like that. So they all come from horrible environments, but then they make it and end up becoming millionaires. And then people look at it and be like, oh man, they're so lucky. No, Coach didn't make it to the professional league by not developing skills and also having that belief and also having big values that he lived by. And he also definitely didn't make it by not creating an identity. What is your identity? What's your identity? Who are you going to become? How are people going to look at you in your life? How is your family going to look at you? I'm that one that's going to make it happen. It don't matter what anybody else did. It don't matter if your kids have made it successful. It don't matter if your parents were successful. It is all up to you. You create your own identity. God made each one of us different for a reason. Melissa isn't like Miss Tamala. Miss Tamala ain't like Miss Sion. Miss Sion is not like Miss Anita. I'm not like Coach Willie. Coach Willie's not like Napoleon. That means everybody is different. We all have our own identity, but you have to figure out what is that identity going to be for you. Or you going to see, I had to be real with myself. Was I going to be always that person that made up excuses? Or was I going to be that person that says, you know what? It's enough with all the excuses. What am I going to do to change that? How can I change that? Who do I have to Who do I have to become so I can change that? What kind of actions am I going to do daily so I can get to that next level? How do you do that? You study successful people. Ask them what they're doing. Todd Rowland tells us all the time on the IPA call, if you're part-time, you need to be doing about 5 to 10 presentations, a week. You're part-time, you're doing this on the side. But if you're full-time, you need to be trying to figure out how to do 5 to 10 presentations a day. You need to be posting. Now we have social media. It's amazing what technology will do in 12 years. Now you can actually start posting on social media to draw people in. Matter of fact, majority of my team came from social media. That was before people even used it, because people would see me post and then ask me about it. But now it's like I post every day. So the key is, even if you're brand new or you're not, are you posting every day? Are you finding a way? And what I love about it, is seeing people grow. I watched Samina grow. I watched Melissa grow. So, I've watched Sonya grow. I've even watched Coach Willie grow over the last few months. Even though he was already a top tier individual, but I'm watching people grow. And you want to know how all of them got better that I just mentioned? Because they took action. They were willing to be bad before they were good. So now they can be good before they're great. In order for you to get better, you gotta start to become that person. You gotta read the books, listen to the audios, follow successful people, study them. What are they doing? How are they talking? How are they walking? What is it that they're doing that I'm not doing? Again, if you are in your life where you want to be at, one, you probably wouldn't even be on this call. But then two, you would already been there. The thing is, you got to start changing some things. Again, you hear me say that. So you gotta, well, no matter where your environment is, no matter where you're starting at, you just draw a line and say, you know what, that's a line in the sand. Travis, you in Miami. Melissa, you right on the Gulf. Go draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, I'm gonna leave all this behind. I'm finna step over because I'm finna go here. And that's where you develop the skills. You build the belief. You get the values. What are your values? What are your core values for yourself? And the identity. What is your identity? What is that identity you want people to see when they see you? On a Zoom, in person, on stage, whatever it may be. What is that identity? And then you follow that up, you got to go to the next tier. That's all the B. That's all in the B section. The skills, the beliefs, the values, and the identity. Now, that is where you start to, now you got to start taking action. You got to make better decisions. And then you got to also behave in that mindset. I was listening to one of the prophets I listened to, and she said something. I want all of y'all to start saying this. I don't care what's in your bank account starting the day. I don't care if it's $0. I don't care if it's negative in your bank account. What I want you to start doing going forward is I want you to quit saying, hey, I'm broke. You better find out a way to change that up. Hey, you know what? I don't have that money right now, but I know God is gonna figure out a way to help me increase what I what's showing right now. Find something positive to say instead of always going towards the negative. And so that's where you change up your behaviors. Some of y'all behaviors have to change in order for you to have success. Well, I ain't good at social media. Well, that's fine. That was the last time you say that. You know what? I'm learning how to become better at social media. And see, once you start to behave and have that mindset and start making better decisions and taking that action, that is where you get that harvest and them results that you're looking for. That is where you get to that, take those dream vacations that you want to take. That is where you get to that next stage. It's because you do this area. You got to do the be, the do, and the have, you guys. And that's really all I had today. I mean, Coach, I hope that was pretty much what you were looking for me to drop off.
Oh, no.
When you text me.
No, you hitting it on the head. You get fired up over there. I love it. I see the passion coming out of it. As you sitting there talking, and I just think about, in the being and doing the have is such a process and such an understanding of, our mental state is that you have to be patient with yourself. You got to be patient with yourself. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to, be, do, and have. And you got to understand and think things through and see things through. And the beautiful thing about when we get the opportunity to talk, me and Anthony, I feel like I'm looking at myself. I'm talking to myself because I don't sit absent of the same struggles that everybody else struggles. I don't sit absent of the same thoughts that some other people may have. But I understand now, I understand how to deal with those thoughts. Now I'm not going to sit there and ever say I'm not good at social media or those types of terms because I've been through that stage, if that makes sense. I'm not talking about the stage of social media. I'm talking about the stage of being understanding how to talk to myself and about myself.
Absolutely, guys. And so I'll end off with this quote right here. And just, we'll let everybody just, enjoy your night. Think about it. Who is it what is your identity that you want to create? What's your value? What's your values? What's your core values? What are you going to stand on? What's your belief? Do you believe, first of all, do you even believe that this is possible? And if you don't, what I encourage you to do is just go look at other people that are having success. And one of the things I did, I never forget my first event. I went to that event. I sat way in the back, like in the back, because I was like, and I started watching people go across the stage, and I said, man, these people are more talented than me. These people aren't, well, you got to have some confidence. They don't look better than me. None of that. None of that kind of stuff. They don't smell better than me. I know I'm that, but you got to have that mindset. What is your identity? When you feel good, you hear Deion say this all the time, but I think a lot of people just think he just be in there talking. But he said, when you feel good, you do good and you play good. That means you perform good. So when you feel good, that's why you take the skinny drops. That's why you put the products in your body so you can feel good. Because then that means you're going to tell more people. What are you going to do? That means you're going to take action. And then what's going to happen after that? That means you're going to start to have the harvest that Coach Willie talked about. But if you do 2 to 4 years, what most people aren't willing to do, you can live your life. You can live a life that most people can never even live, because you are willing to do something that they aren't willing to do. Just always remember that. Look at today's day. I promise you, if you look up 2 years from now and you doing something every single day, taking consistent action every single day, maybe 6 days after the week and 1 day of rest, but watch what happens. Watch where your life will be at 6 months down the line, a year down the line, 2 years from now. A lot of y'all will be making 6 figures or more for sure if you start taking action every single day. I know for sure. There's no doubt in my mind, if y'all started doing that, taking action on a daily basis, you'll look up, you'll have 6 figures coming in extra. A lot of y'all have full-time jobs, part-time, you can make 6 figures doing this. But that's not to make an income claim, but hey, you could definitely do it. Oh, happy Sunday. Hope y'all have a great and blessed rest of the night. And let's go change some lives this week, everybody.
Have a great night.
Thanks, Ant. Thanks, Willie.
Yes.